Y'all ready for this? Just kidding. Hope everybody's having a great Sunday out there. Gearing up, looking at some weather models, looking at some weather data, what we're going to expect as we roll throughout the remainder of today on into the overnight. And it looks like it could be a fun one. We are taking a look at the latest headlines that's been released by the National Weather Service. We have all the wobbles that is currently underneath a winter weather advisory just to our south across that dreaded line down into volunteer country. They have got a winter storm warning that's in effect. All right. So currently the winter weather advisory reads that we could see anywhere from a dusting up to a possibility of 3 inches of snowfall. Now, it's worth mentioning as well, there's boom and bust potential along with this weather maker. With some of the things that we're going to be diving into here very shortly, we're going to be talking about the opportunity at a boom potential to where we could even see more snow than that with the latest guidance that's just now rolling in here. All right, so let's just back this up for you and show you how big that this weather maker is. Look at all the colorations here, folks, all the beautiful pinks and purples stretching all the way from down in South Texas all the way up into Appalachia country over in West Virginia, over into Virginia as well. You can see where the pink coloration is outlined. Those are the counties that have been highlighted underneath a winter storm warning. The purple is the winter weather advisory. And we're going to go ahead and we are going to overlay the latest radar here for you to kind of show you what's on the way. So you can see we have already got cloud cover extensively that is arriving here on the far western side of the region. And we got a whole lot of snow that is already rocking and rolling over here and just absolutely battering Arkansas. So this weather maker and this wave is going to be blowing right up through the region. It's going to be tracking east. And the highest tally on the forecast regarding snowfall currently resides down to our south and east. But we're going to be watching to see what models to do if they were to correct any more off to the north and west because of some of the discrepancies that we've been seeing as we have worked throughout today. All right, so let's jump over here into it and talk about what the guidance is suggesting. Here's the setup of what we've been dealing with. We have got this Arctic area of high pressure that is absolutely exploding Arctic air down into the region. All right, we're all the way down to the teens for highs. I think I just looked, we're at 17 or 18 degrees. It's not really important. We're well below freezing. But coming along with that blast of Arctic air is the possibility of that Arctic air suppressing the system more to the south. So that's what we have been talking about and discussing here over the past few days. But what we've been seeing as well is somewhat of a northwestward correction that still keeps game on in regards to snow potential for us here across the Wobbles community. All right, so talking about what I was just mentioning, let's get an idea of what the current conditions are. We have got readings out there anywhere between the mid and upper teens region wide. Allen County, you're all the way up into the lower 20s. Congratulations, 2 gold stars for you. You have the warmest temperature on the day. Now, coming along with this is those northwesterly winds. They're howling upwards of around 10 to 15 miles an hour at the moment, equating to a wind chill right around 10 degrees. Some of us up in the flats of Woodbury, Butler County, at a bone-chilling wind chill of 4 degrees. Even colder air is on the way that's going to be coming along with that, which makes any snowfall that's going to be arriving here and falling, that's going to be sticking across the region. All right, here's the generalized setup. We got this winter weather maker, deep area low pressure down along the Gulf Coast. The Arctic front's already passed through here. We've got the moisture that's being streamed up as well. This is our setup and equating to the potential for our winter weather maker. As we previously mentioned, and whenever we were just looking at the radar out there, you could already see some returns showing up, showcasing moisture that was returning into the region. We can look over the White Squirrel Weather Nest Cam to put proof in the pudding, if you will, with the clouds thickening up out there as we speak, with the arrival of the possibility of some snow showers here in the near future for us. So let's go back over here and take a look at the latest models and what they are portraying and trying to shake out for us, okay? So here we are looking at the latest NAM. This has just come in. This is the noon model run, and you can see it brings in a hefty little bout of snow, arriving right in here in the region sometime in the late afternoon and early evening time frame. Right now, models are hinting at anywhere between roughly 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. You might see it a little bit sooner than that. You might see it a little bit later. And it continues with this swath of light and moderate snow at some points, all the way until we get to around midnight, all the way into the pre-dawn hours of our Monday, and continuing after sunrise and taking us all the way through our Monday, all the way through Monday afternoon and evening. Obviously, if this particular weather model comes to fruition, we're going to be in for a nice healthy snowfall here across the area. So now let's switch over and talk about the models and what they are currently showing in regards to total snow amounts for us and why we're seeing such a discrepancy amongst the model guidance, okay? So looking here at the latest Euro, if you're a fan of a significant snowfall, you are not a fan of the Euro. It's only showing about an inch of total snowfall from us coming from this particular weather maker, but there is something to worth note regarding the Euro. Whenever we look at dew points for this time, the Euro was showcasing anywhere from 0 degrees on the dew point scale up to 2 to 3 degrees on the dew point scale. Why is that important? Well, if we can jump back over here, and if we can take a quick look at what our real-time readings are here, across the Wobbles community, we have got our dew points that are showcasing 5 to 7 degrees higher than what the Euro was hinting at. That's an issue, folks. What does that mean? It means that the Euro's not picking up on the moisture. And what we're dealing with this particular weather maker is extraordinarily high snow ratios. What does that mean, Landon? Whenever we get a typical winter system in here, we are dealing with a snow ratio of roughly 10 to 1. That means that we're going to get 10 inches of snow out of 1 inch of rainfall. With as cold as our air mass is, folks, our snow ratios are expected to be much greater than that. Closer to being around the cusp of 14 to 1, maybe even climbing up closer to 19 or even 20 to 1. So any little bit of moisture we're able to squeeze out can result in a significant snowfall occurring across the region, all right? So enough science, let's get back into it. The Euro, 1 inch of snow, right on the money, by the time we roll into getting into the latter part of our Tuesday, all right? Now we can take a look at the GFS. And the GFS has kind of corrected itself as we work throughout the morning, and it's brought the higher snow totals a little bit more off to the north and west. Polar migration that we typically see at times with the weather models, 1.7 inches of snowfall. Now you all are about to see the discrepancy. We got the global models, we got the Euro and the GFS that's going up against the localized high-res short-range models, and they are showing differing scenarios. So we roll over to the NAM 3 kilometer, and we have higher tallies that are being showcased now, all the way up to around 2 to perhaps even 3 or maybe even 4 inches across the Wobbles community. Lower amounts as you go off to the north and west, higher amounts as you go off to the south and east. That is the one thing that we do have rather high confidence of. The higher snow tallies are expected to be along the southeastern tier of the area where the better forcing is going to be located and being able to tap into that moisture. Now we go over to the SREF, another short-range model. This typically handles winter weather rather well, and it's all the way up to 4 to 5 and 6 inches across the region, and the lowest it brings us is 2 to 3 inches across the northwestern tier of Butler County. And then we roll on and we look at the latest blend of models, which puts us right around the 2-inch mark. And the model that is showcasing and keeping up with the moisture the best at this point in time is putting us all the way up on the tally, as you can see here, with a nice healthy snow arriving tonight. And then we get another round that moves in here during the late morning hours of tomorrow, lasting all the way throughout our Monday and into Monday night. So long story short, folks, this has been an absolute headache, a migraine, if you will, trying to deal with this with no model showing any sort of consistency or wanting to come into agreement. But with what we're seeing unfold with more moisture being available, that's why we've seen the National Weather Service has expanded the winter weather advisory northward a couple more counties, to the north and to the northwest and north and east of the Wobbles community. And it's also expanded the winter storm warning to just the southeast of Wobbles down around Monroe County and those vicinities, points off to the north and east where the higher snow points are expected. So in regards to what we can see, we are still on the cusp, and we are thinking that this model is handling things rather well, but we're going to have that range that, of course, we always throw in there regarding our high snow tallies. So it has by sunrise on Monday that we could be looking anywhere between roughly 1 to 3 inches of total snowfall for us, okay? So right around the sunrise time frame for us, and then it brings another healthy round as we work later into our Monday afternoon and then on into our Monday night. So the cusp and the range that we've been looking at and trying to take into account the dry layers of the atmosphere, where it may result in not quite tallies that high, is a broad range brush of going from a dusting up to 3 inches, with a very real possibility of these higher snow ratios being realized. And if that's the case, you could put us into a boom scenario of seeing upwards to 3 to 5 inches of snowfall on the ground. So it looks like a pretty good probability that we're at least going to get something in here. And we're obviously going to be watching the short-term models extraordinarily closely, because we're going to have so much cold air that's going to come along with this. Anything that falls is going to stick, and it's not really going to be going anywhere until we roll into the Thursday time frame. And if you really want to get into it, I'll tell you a secret. Come here. Looking at another possible winter weather maker come Friday into Saturday next week. But we'll let that occur whenever it's going to occur. All right? Don't tell anybody I told you that. We'll keep that between us. So we're going to hone in on this. We're going to be right here in the short range. You can follow along with us on Twitter. All right? We've been innately posting our updates and things of that nature. And as things continue to unfold, we'll be right back here with you to update you as necessary. We got our great teammate, Jake Dysinger, is working on a very deep diving blog right now to break this whole thing down for you. All you weather geeks, be on the lookout for that. And of course, send us your updates as necessary and get reports if you're able to. And obviously stay safe out there. With the frigid cold coming in, check on your neighbors, check on your friends and your family. Take care of your pets and your pipes. Don't forget about them. Open up the cabinet doors. Leave a steady drip out of your indoor faucets and try and take care of everything that needs to be taken care of. Thank you all so much. We greatly appreciate you all. Brand new blog coming out here very shortly, and we'll be updating here throughout the rest of this evening and throughout tomorrow. You all stay safe.